Hey guys, you saw Pokemon in the title and you clicked it, and you were right to do so. So now I guess I gotta make do on it. Quick, come up with something.
Today in Nerd History!
By and large, Pokemon's reputation is that it's squeaky, feel-good fun, and like the darkest thing about it is typically a tired joke about dogfighting or like Cubone's spooky backstory. But like any media property that's been around long enough, Pokemon has persevered through its share of controversies. Here are 5 Pokemon controversies that nobody expected.
Number 5.
While you might expect Pokemon's first major social hurdle to be the swarm of angry parents saying that the cards are a form of gambling, or they're exploitative, or they're a challenge to American values, or something, it was actually something far more direct and far more startling. In 1997, episode 38 of the Pokemon anime was ground zero for what became known as Pokemon Shock.
The episode, Den-O Senshi Porygon, or Cyber Soldier Porygon, featured Ash and the gang on an adventure in the digital frontier to thwart a Team Rocket scheme. It's a pretty innocuous setup that aims to explain how some of the iffy logic of Pokeballs work.
But now it carries a dark legacy.
When Pikachu unloads an electric attack on a bevy of missiles within the computer, the resulting cyber explosion manifests in the form of a violent barrage of red and blue strobing lights. Exactly the type that might trigger epileptic seizures.
The episode, which aired on an unassuming Tuesday evening, caught about 4 million kids in the crossfire. And while we don't have an exact count on how many kids were actually affected, we do know that 685 kids had reactions so severe that they had to be sent to the hospital. Disaster also resulted in the show being pulled from the airways for 4 months, and the episode has never been rebroadcast. So now, do you think that Pikachu's such a good guy? Yeah, he's still pretty cute.
Number 4.
Look, we have to talk about Pokemon Go sooner or later, so let's just get it over now so that you don't expect it to be number 1. This was recent enough that I suppose that most of you are probably pretty familiar with everything that went down, because how could you not be? But just in case, let's recap.
Let's see, Pokemon Go was a hyper-addictive alternate reality game for mobile devices in which players traverse their actual environments to collect Pokemon, and if you weren't one of the people playing it a little bit or a lot of it for casual fun, maybe you're one of these people. The guy in Singapore who got fired from his job for calling Singapore a f***ing piece of shit country for the game not being available in his region yet, the robbers who used beacons at Pokestops to lure in potential victims, the other countless robberies of people who blindly followed the game, the 2 guys who fell off a cliff while trying to catch some sweet Mon, the child abandonment, the guy who was attacked in a park with a straight razor because a stranger thought he was recording him with his phone. Sounds like maybe he should have been recording him. The teens who got shot at by a homeowner who assumed them to be thieves. The drivers who crashed while playing the game in their cars. The driver who was arrested for deliberately hitting someone because they were playing the game in the road. The player who jumped a fence near a zoo's tiger enclosure to catch Pokemon. The stabbings, shootings, and other deaths that we probably really just shouldn't get into because they're just gonna bum us out.
I mean, too late, though I'm bummed out. Let's keep moving.
Number 3.
Israeli stage magician Uri Geller is an interesting guy.
Beyond being best friends with Michael Jackson and being a self-proclaimed psychic, he was also a pioneer of spoon bending as an illusion. This trick became so popular, so singularly associated with psychic ability, that if you're not familiar with Uri Geller by name, you've probably seen his influence in things like The Matrix.
But Geller's other main trick, it's lawsuits, baby. The guy loves them. The only thing he loves more than bending spoons is bending his wallet when it's stuffed full of lawsuit cash. Or I mean, that would be the case if he ever won lawsuits.
Never missing a chance to bring somebody to court, Geller found a great opportunity in 2000 while touring Japan, when he encountered a certain psychic type named Kadabra. The Pokemon, Geller claimed, was an unlicensed parody of himself, designed to appear as an evil Nazi dog monster and turn children against him, of course. His reasoning was that the katakana for Kadabra's name, which is Youngerer, is visually similar to a translation of Uri Geller's own name.
This coincidence, along with a few other classic psychic symbols that the Pokemon happened to brandish, were enough for the stage magician to demand $80 million in damages from Pokemon. While this goofy lawsuit went about the way that you'd expect it to, it's worth noting that since the lawsuit, Kadabra has appeared in neither the Pokemon anime nor card game. So how about that? Another great thing to come from this, though, is possibly the greatest sentence that anyone has ever uttered with a straight face. Nintendo turned me into an evil, occult Pokemon character. I wish we could all be so lucky, Yuri. I wish we could all be so lucky.
Number 2.
A thing can only become so popular before hordes of religious zealots rush out from the woodwork to claim that the popular thing is the second coming of Little Lord Lucifer Satan-man, which is his full name. Don't look it up, trust me. And Pokemon was an extra natural fit as a target for militant Christians in the States. I mean, not only does it feature fighting and monsters or demons, but it also prominently features the idea of evolution. Whoa.
It was a regular old panic party in the US when the games and anime hit big in the 90s. Beyond typical school bannings and religious community calls to eliminate the franchise, there were all kinds of fevered conspiracy theories that popped up, including that the Pokemon theme song hid a backmasked message to teach kids to love Satan. Some televangelists even led full crusades against the series.
So Pokemon is a game that teaches children how to enter into the world of witchcraft, how to cast spells. Pokemon World is a world of the demonic.
I mean, frankly, as someone who is always more into Magic the Gathering than Pokemon, this is actually, pretty appealing to me. That sounds pretty good.
I assure you that demons take it quite seriously. Satan takes it quite seriously. Your children need to know there's a devil and he hates them and he wants to ruin their life.
And good enough for them, good enough for me. And if you think the backlash was big in America, there were some, let's just say, extreme examples worldwide. In 2001, the Grand Mufti of Saudi Arabia issued a ban on the game and all related merchandise, claiming that the series promoted Zionism, Freemasonry, evolution, and gambling. And he may not be entirely wrong about the last one, but still. While this all might seem like distance in the past type of stuff, recently the clerical body reissued the ban. And I wonder what recent super popular Pokemon property could have spurred that on. Oh!
And number 1.
Guys, if you thought we were only going to talk about Pokemon Go once, well, that's on me. I did actually lie to you, so I'm sorry for that. But I couldn't possibly fit everything into just one category. Can you blame me? With this face? We've talked a lot about the individual cases of people playing the popular mobile game, but that's small beans. After all, it's the massive, disgustingly huge throngs of people that became the actual problem.
In Sydney, Australia, the courtyard of an apartment complex infamously became a den of hundreds of Pokemon Go fiends, some of whom would camp through all hours of the night with food and water stockpiled. Police were called, fines were threatened, players were bombed with water balloons and eggs from disgruntled residents.
In other situations, legal action was taken.
In Detroit, some suburbanites filed a class action lawsuit against Pokemon Go developer Niantic as players began to swarm their neighborhood, destroying private property and verbally threatening residents. Other lawsuits have popped up all over with varying degrees of legal fallout. Due to a different case regarding driving, you can no longer play Pokemon Go while moving over a certain speed. And lawsuits have gone in the other direction too. In the aftermath of Pokemon Go, the city of Milwaukee, Wisconsin started requiring permits from AR games in order to cut down on people trespassing on private property.
Only for the city to be sued by a developer of augmented reality technology. So if you want the full Pokemon Go experience, the greatest shit show a mobile game has ever created, everyone craft a lawsuit, pass it to the person to the left until we're all so sued that we're dead. Maybe then Uri Geller will finally be friends with us, and he can teach us that cool spoon bending trick.